Today I'm going to explain about the pin diagram of 8051 microcontroller. So in all the controllers, the pin diagram is very important. So you have to know which pin is called as an power supply, which pin is called as ground, which pin is called as a reset pin, which pin is used to transfer the data, which pin is used to receive the data, which one is called as input port. So this all the functions you want to know. Then only you can write the program in the 8051 microcontroller. So today we are going to see the basic microcontroller. So normally all the people are using this 8051 microcontroller. This pin consists of 40 pin IC. So this pin IC is manufactured by different methods. One is called as dual inline package. Next one is QFP, means quad flat package. LLC means leadless chip carrier. So it is consists of 40 pins. So different manufacturers company will do in different package. But normally we are using the dual inline package. This 8051 microcontroller consists of 16 address lines, 8 data lines. Next one is, what is meant by address lines means it is used to transfer the address from one device to another device. Data lines means it is used to transfer the information from one device to another device. So the address lines, 16 address lines is called as address bus. The 8 data lines combined together, it is called as a bus. Bus means group of lines combined together to transfer the address or data or control signals, etc. That is called as bus. Next one is bidirectional port. So what is the use of the port means? There are various types of peripheral devices are there. Peripheral device means input device and output device. So example, switch, keyboard, dot matrix keyboard, mouse, sensor, these are called as an input device. Output device means motor, next one is display, 7-segment display, CRT display, next one is LED display, graphical LCD. These are the output device. Next one relay, next one is input device with touch screen. These are the some input and output device. So peripheral device is called as input device and output device. This input device and output device is connected to the port of the controller. So in 8085 microprocessor, we cannot directly connect the input device and output device with the microprocessor. That is a drawback in 8085. So in microcontroller, there are 4 ports are available. So what is the use of the port is, it is used to connect the input device and output device. So what is bidirectional port means? Bidirectional means both direction. We can connect input device and output device. So it is called as an bidirectional. Next, what is called as multifunction. So you take one pin number 20. It will do 3 functions. If the function pin is doing only one function, that is called as single function. But in some pins, it will do many function. Let us see some example. See here, pin number 30. So it will use as a port 3.0. So it will act as a port 3. But another one option is available, that is called as receive data. So it will use to connect the input device as well as we can receive the data. Any one function we can do at a time. If you are receiving the data means you cannot connect the input device or output device. So there are 4 ports are available: port 0, port 1, port 2 and port 3. So each port there are 8 pins are there. So port 0 to port 7, 8 pins are there. So port 0 8 pins, port 1 8 pins, port 2 8 pins and port 3 8 pins. What is meant by VCC? VCC means you have to give the operating voltage of the controller. So that is called as 5 volt. You have to give here 5 volt. That is the function of the VCC. So if the microcontroller want to perform the function, it will have to work properly. For that, it will require some voltage. So we are give to this voltage. Next one is 20th pin is called as ground. So 0. That is 1 to 20 is the left hand side and 21 to 40. Next one is reset pin. Reset pin means it is, if you give a high signal, the microcontroller will get reset. If you take in your computer, so there is a reset button is there. If you press the reset button, it will start from the 00. That is a 1 second start from the basic. So reset means it is used to reset the microcontroller. Next, port 1, it is called as a single function. It is used only for connecting the input device and output device. Next one is port 0. It will use to connect the input device and output device. Next one is it will be used as an data lines. Next, it will act as an lower byte address lines. So there are 16 address lines are there. So here A0 to A7. So the lower address lines are connected to this port 0. Next, the upper 8 lines, that is a higher byte address, it is connected to the port 2, that is A8 to A15. Totally 16 address lines are there. Lower byte address lines are connected to port 0 and higher byte is connected to port 2. And also it will act as a data lines D0 to D7. Next one is what is the use of ALE? So ALE means address latch enable. Address latch enable means if the pin is high, this will act as an address lines. When this is low, it will act as a data lines. Only 8 lines are there. These 8 lines will act as an address lines and data lines. When will act as an address lines? When ALE is high, the particular pin will act as an address lines. When ALE is low, it will act as an data lines. Next here you are having pin number 18 and 19. It is called as a crystal oscillator, oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. So you have to give an external crystal. So it will generate a frequency of 12 megahertz. So there are oscillators are there. So it is used to supply or it is used to generate a clock signal, external clock signal of 12 megahertz. Next, EA. EA means external access. What is my external access means? So it is used to enable the external memory. So in microcontroller, there is one maximum we can connect 64 kilobyte of memory. Suppose I want to enable the external memory means I got to give a low signal. If I go give a low signal, the external memory will be enabled. That is called as OE, output enable. Next one is PSEN means program store enable. It is used to read the data from the external memory. EA means it is used to access, it is used to enable and disable the external memory. PSEN, program store enable, it is used to read the data from the external memory. Next, the port 3, it is used as a multifunctional. So it is used to connect the input port and output port. Next one is receive transmit. In communication, so serial communication, there are 2 terms are there. One is called as transmit, another one is receive. Suppose you take 2 microcontroller. I want to transmit the data from microcontroller 1 to microcontroller 2. So what that means, if you want to receive the data from microcontroller 2 means that is called as receive pin. Transmit means if you want to transmit the data from microcontroller 1 to 2 means that is called as transmit. Receive means it will receive the data using serial communication. Transmit means it will transmit the data using serial communication. Read, write. So read means suppose I want to read the data from the memory. So this read pin will be enabled. Write means it will write the data in the memory or it will read the data from the input device. It will write the data in the output device. So if you give a 0 signal, read will be enabled. If you give a 0 in the right, P3.6, you'll get as write enable. Next one is interrupt 0 and interrupt 1. So what is my interrupt means? Interrupt is a disturbance given to the microcontroller to perform a task. So there are two interrupts are available. One is called as S-channel interrupt, INT0 and INT1. So there are RST, transmit. Next one is timer interrupt, overflow interrupt, like this. Various types of interrupt is available. These two are called as an external interrupt. So there's an inbuilt timer interrupt is available, serial interrupt is available. If we need more interrupts, we can use this INT0 and INT1. Next one is timer 0. So timer or counter 0. So timer means it is used to generate a delay. Counter is it is used to count the number of events. So there are two timers are used. One is called as timer 0, another one is timer 1. So microcontroller, there are 4 ports are there: port 0, port 1, port 2, port 3. So each port there are 8 pins. Pin number is port 0.0, port 0.7. Like this 1.0 to 107, 3.0 to 307. So there are 2 ports that is called as an bidirectional ports. We can use as an input port or output port. What is the difference means? There is in the ports, there is a buffer and latch is available. If you want to select that port as an input port, the buffer will work. And if you selecting as an output port, latch will work. So if you give the value 0, the port will set as output port. If you set 1, so the port will act as an input port. So the port we can use as an input port or output port. If you set the value 1, it will act as an input port. If you set the value as 0, it will act as an output port. So what is the difference between input port and output port? Output port latch will be available, input port buffer will be available. So this is the 4 ports are available: port 0, port 1, port 2 and port 3. So already I explained the VCC, you are giving the supply. Next one is a ground. Next one, it is used to reset the controller. So reset means it will go to 0. Next one is program store enable. Already it is used to read the signal from the external memory. ALE is, when ALE is high, it will act as an address lines. And when ALE is low, it will act as an data lines. EM is, it is used to access the external memory. And crystal oscillator STAL1 and 2, it is used for external clock. So it will generate a clock frequency of 12 megahertz. So now let us see about the memory. If you take a memory, there are 2 things are there. One is called as address, another one is data. So if I want to write some data in the memory, so what means write will be enabled. Next, you have to give the address. See here, the address here it is empty. So I am giving some address 7020. So I am going to write the data in the particular address. Suppose I want to read the data from the memory. So if I want to read any data from the memory, first thing we need is address. So first it will give the address 2002. What is the data available? F3. It will read the data. So this is called as an hexadecimal number. If you can write in decimal number means 8000 means 1000. 16 number will be available. 4444. 4 bits, 4 bits, 4 bits, 4 bits. First bit is 0, so I am writing 0. Second also 0, 0, 8. 8 means this is called as 1. 8421. For like that only data 05 is an 8-bit number. So last 4 bits are 0, and here 48421. 4 plus 1, 5. Next, I explain about what is meant by buffer and what is meant by latch. In input port, buffer will be available. Output port, latch will be available. What is the difference? Now, I have stored some value in the buffer. That is called as 88. I am storing the buffer. If I read the value from the buffer will become as empty. That is a concept buffer. Buffer is a latch or temporary registers. If I read the data from the buffer will become as empty. But in latch, if I read the data from the memory, that is called as temporary register. So if you read, the data will not change. It will be like that only. If you write the next data, so you are storing some data in the latch, then only it will change. Suppose you are having 10101010. If I read the data from the latch, what will happen means that value will be there. So when it will change means if I'm storing some value, next value if you change, automatically the latch value will change. Buffer means when I read the data from the buffer, it will become as empty. That is the difference between buffer and latch. So this is the alternate function of the port 3. So 8 pins are there, port 3.0 to port 3.7. It will act, it is used for connecting input device and output device. Next alternate function is, it is receive the data, transmit the data, memory read operation, write operation, external interrupt 1 to timer 0, external input and external timer 1 input. It is all about the pin diagram of 8051 microcontroller. Thank you.